Great stuff, bro. Yeah, man. So good morning, everybody. We are live for our pre-market analysis. It is January 15th. We are closing out 2 weeks into the month, guys. It honestly feels like a whole month has already gone by, but we're only halfway through. And I can't tell you just the excitement, I personally have. This has been one of the fastest ramp-ups for me personally from my trading accounts, just from a return on my portfolio. And Taj and I, we were talking about it. Taj was saying the same thing, that this is one of the fastest ramp-ups for him personally as well. So we're off to a really, really good start. It's a testament to show that what we're doing here at Stack works. Not only because of our personal results, but because of the results that everyone here is achieving in the live trading room and the swing trading room. So I'm just really happy. I'm really proud to see a lot of your successes, guys. And you know who you are, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart and to everybody that trades with us. So with that being said, there's a lot of activity going on this morning, so let's get right straight to it. I know I bring up Tesla every single day, but today is actually a pretty good one. Tesla. Tesla got a price target upgrade, I think the highest on Wall Street, and I shared it with the room. Tesla got a $1,250 price target upgrade from Wedbush. That's their bull case on it, but they did raise it from a base case to $950. You can see Tesla closed yesterday at 845, shot straight up to about almost 860. I know it's pulling back a little bit, but let me tell you, man, pull up Tesla on a daily chart. I know we think Tesla, we wanted Tesla to kind of consolidate. Remember, we were talking about that? Look at what it's done over the past 5 days. It has consolidated. It has pulled back. The RSI has calmed down. Now it's at 70 on the daily chart. It's below the Bollinger Band. What's coming up to it? The 8MA on the daily is at 833. It's only 20 points above the 8MA, and that's nothing for Tesla. And this is actually, if you look at it, it's a bull flag on the daily.
Yep.
Bull flag on the daily. What do we do with bull flags? We treat that just like when we day trade. You can get in on some nice action. So I do anticipate, guys, Tesla riding up. Maybe not today, maybe not on Tuesday, but I do think that within a 1 to 2 week time frame, we'll see Tesla at above $900. I could be wrong, of course. I don't have a crystal ball, but the setup is there. The price targets are there. The analysts on Wall Street are bullish about it. So Tesla is definitely in play today. This is on my A list. Another name that I'm watching, guys, there's a lot of smaller names that are in play today. Blackberry. I haven't traded Blackberry in God knows how many years. But look at this sucker. Just in the past couple of days. Look at the past 5 days. Just ran up from around $7 to a pre-market high of almost $12. So it's in play today. It's a cheap stock. I think a lot of us can have fun with it today. So Blackberry is in play. The way I see it is the following. If it breaks above $11.20, go long, put your stops at $10.80. You're risking 40 cents on the trade. If it breaks below $10.80, this might just gap fill, or it might test the $10.40. If it breaks below $10.40, this is gonna just trade lower and probably just a slow grind. If this rips past $11.20, you can go long the stock. So I like Blackberry. It's gonna be on my A list. Baba. Keep an eye on Baba today. I'm gonna keep Baba on my B list, but pull up the daily. It has a gap to fill to $253. We're on our way to it. So Baba is in play today. It's gapping up about 4 points. So if it breaks above 247, I think we can go long. Put your stops at pre-market low, which would be about 245.75, or 246 around there. So I like Baba. I'm gonna flop Baidu here for Zoom. ZM. ZM is ripping right now. It's almost at $400. It's setting up a little bull flag here. I was really liking this pullback here in pre-market around 830 because that could have given us the entry point for Zoom. But right now it's bull flag in pre-market. On the daily chart, guys, this looks really solid. It had some nice basing action. It found support here at the 350, 340 range. It's gapping up. It's trading above the what? The 20 MA. Yesterday, it claimed that 20 MA and closed at its highs or near its highs. And now we're just going to the moon. So I could see Zoom potentially trade up to like 410, 417. The upper Bollinger Band for ZM on the daily is at 417.40. So I think we can probably get a little bit of overhead resistance in that range before it slows down. So Zoom is in play. I like it. This is an A-list stock for me. Another name that I have on my A-list, guys, is the overall S&P 500. Earnings reports are on its way. The banks have already reported earnings. You can just take a look at the banks and see how they're trading right now. I'm not going to personally trade the banks, but I want to watch the overall markets. The banks give us insight on the financial status of just the economy, right? Look at JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citibank, and once the other banks start reporting, they give us the underlying tone of how Q4 was, and they can give us guidance, right, on how the financial system is working for the next quarter. The market's gapping down. So for me personally, I would love to trade the S&P 500 today, and I'm going to keep it on one of my charts as an A-list stock. If it trades above 377.50, you can go long with 378 calls. Now, I would prefer a little pop, and then if the market decides to sell off, guess what? We can buy 377 or 376 puts and trade this to the downside. On the daily chart for the S&P 500, you can see here that we struggled for the past week to break above 382. Literally, the market just couldn't break it. It attempted so many times. We were so close. But what do I see here? I see a potential topping here. I see a double top on the S&P 500. Yeah. I see that topping right here on January 8th, and I see that topping that we did yesterday, January 14th. So right now, the S&P 500 broke below the daily 8 MA, which is at 378.29. We're coming straight down to the 13 MA, which is at 375.67. So if the market decides to sell off today, first target, 375.67. 375.67. If it continues to rapidly sell off, next target, 373.50, which is the 20 MA on the daily chart for the S&P 500. That's what I'm looking at from a SPY perspective. But if it decides to rip up, like I said, don't just stare at it. Buy calls and trade it. We trade the charts. We don't stick with our bias here. Another name on my A list is going to be Tilray. This is an animal. Bull flagging up here. And Taj, claps to you, brother, because you called it. You called it that Tilray was going to be probably the hottest pot stock to trade, and you nailed it. You were dead spot on that call. So if Tilray trades above $22, play it long, rip it to the upside, put your stops at 21.30. That's a 70-cent risk on the trade. Potential upside, who knows? 23, 23, yeah. 25, who knows? So we just trade the charts here. If it breaks 21.30, you can try to short it, but keep your stops really tight. You can put your stops at like 21.70 in the mid-range of this bull flag. With the way that it's setting up, I think it's gonna rip, but we just trade the action, right? So just mark up those support and resistance zones on the bull flag, and you'll be good to go. Like two more names, and then I'm gonna pass it on to you, Taj. I'm gonna keep an eye on Airbnb today. Airbnb broke new highs yesterday. A lot of analysts are really bullish on Airbnb. The CEO of Airbnb was commenting that the economy of travel, right, and hotel stays is changing forever. And Airbnb is going to be a huge beneficiary of it. I like Airbnb because right now I like this pullback. If Airbnb does a reversal, we can go long, put our stops low a day. If it rips past 186, next level 187.40, and if it breaks past that, you're going to see 190, maybe 195 on the stock. So that's the upside call that I have. However, if it just continues to sell off because of maybe market weakness, the market is gapping down, then we can look to short Airbnb if it breaks below 182. All right, that's what I'm looking at from Airbnb. So I got my long idea, I got my short idea. One more name, two more names. PayPal. I like PayPal because of a price target upgrade. The upgrade here is $350 from Mizuho. So here's what I see. I like this bull flag. If it breaks above 245.60 and pre-market highs of 246, go long that sucker. No questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. Put your stops at 244. It's a $2 risk on the trade, and we can probably trade this higher and maybe even into all-time highs. One other name, PLTR. PLTR is being bought up by Kathy Woods. Kathy Woods, if you don't know who she is, look her up. She's very influential. She is buying PLTR, hence the gap up. And if you look at the daily chart, this stock has room to run. Very, very good opportunity, I think, from an entry point perspective to even swing the stock, which I may heavily consider doing today. Put your stops at 24. You want to give it more room, put your stops at 22. If you're going to swing it upside, I mean, let's try to go for all-time highs. How long do you hold the stock for a swing? I'd give yourself, at least 2 months on the call options if you're going to play call options. If you're buying equity, doesn't matter. Just put your stops at 22. So that's my idea. Taj, passing it over.
Yeah, man. Definitely like a lot of those plays that you just mentioned. I guess for a few of them, I'll just go on a little more about them. Tilray, since that's been one of the aims of the. We obviously discussed the breakout of that $12.70, $13 price range, and I'll be honest, it did exceed my expectations a little bit. I didn't see this coming. Shot up. Now it's gapping up again after yesterday's price action, which, look at the daily RSI. Daily RSI is at 87, and for on my charts, that's not even including the pre-market gap up.
Right.
So if I had to take a guess, it's probably closer to 90 by now. So you have it running to some resistance at 22.15. So where's our next resistance? Well, if you actually go out about a year, there's some resistance at $23, which is about a point away from today's high. So keep that in mind with Tilray. If we're going to play it to the long side, look to take your profits quickly. Don't hold on to it for too long because, again, this is a stock that is gapping up off of an excessive move that it had yesterday. So I think we are going to be due for at least some type of consolidation over the next few days, if not a pullback. Now, hopefully it's not a hard pullback, but we'll see. We'll let the chart show us exactly what it wants to do. But as for now, it wants to go long. So guess what? That's the way we're going to play it, right? We're going to look for that opportunity. So that's kind of my analysis on Tilray. Another name that I'll be keeping an eye on, is kind of my B list, because I don't see a clean setup right now, is Gamestop. This is also a name that's been extremely strong over the past 2 days, especially on Wednesday. It was an insane day that it had.
Yep.
It closed pretty solid yesterday. We actually had a gap up on the after hours, after the close yesterday, gapped up into a new high of 43.57. As you can see, it's been a little choppy. However, the volume's been fairly light during these pre-market hours. So, what do I see here? I see the RSI is at 86.88 from yesterday's close. We're gapping down about $1. So the RSI is actually going to be a little lower than that.
83 currently.
83. So it's still in that overbought territory, but what's overbought nowadays? There's so many stocks 93, 94 on the RSI. So
That's true.
Who knows? Who knows what it is? So if it has some strength out of the gate, I like it long here around 39.40. You can throw your stops at the low here around 38.50. So you're looking at about $1 risk on a potential pop. Maybe you can test that $40, $41 price level and see if you can actually pick up some momentum to continue throughout the day. For a short, man, you probably have to break like 37. I would really want to see it break that pre-market low and look for some type of shorting opportunity. The short, I think, would be a little riskier. You'd have to throw your stops around like 38, 39. But nonetheless, there is an opportunity definitely for that to happen. But like I said, GameStop will be, kind of between that A to B tier list. Not the most perfect setup, but it does have a very solid setup.
Yeah.
Another name I like is Apple. They did get a price target upgrade. I don't believe it was from a tier 1 analyst, but nonetheless, it was a price target upgrade. Let me double check here. 155 from 131. So we're currently trading. The closing price was 128.90. We're at 128.80. So it's pretty much at the same price that it closed at from yesterday's price action. So Apple, I would say we could look for a long here around 129.11. I think would even be better.
Yeah.
We get those stops here around like 128.70. So you're looking at about a 40 cent risk on it for the potential to the upside. If it breaks down, you can play a short here at around 128.70, 128.60 range and throw your stops around 129. Apple, I would say if I'm looking at the daily chart, it's setting up for possibly a little sell-off here. It's been unable to crack above its AMA since that initial sell-off at 138.79, which is when Alex and I were both yelling for everyone to take profits on trades. Remember that?
Yep.
And now you have Apple really struggling to get back above its AMA. You have it pinned down here now, both by the 20 MA and the 8 MA. So I think today is going to be a crucial day for Apple to see if it can reclaim strength or if it's going to continue to show some weakness. There is some support from yesterday's low around 128.49. The next level would be 126.86. After that is 126.38. And if it breaks that, I think you're going to see Apple test the lower part of this Bollinger Band around 125. And you could possibly even dip below further than that if it continues. So what are some signs that we can look for to show some real weakness in Apple? One, the market sells off. Alex mentioned it perfectly. The SPYs have put in pretty much a double top here on the daily chart. Remember we were talking about the SPYs breaking out of that key level around 376? Well, the thing is, it did break it, it did hold it. However, we didn't get the surge that we were looking for, right? We didn't get that moment where the market starts going on a run, right? Where it's up 400, 500, 600 points on a day, right? It would be very small, right? If you look at some of these rallies that it had, it's been very slow. And now you're starting to get some double top action here from the January 8th combined with yesterday's price action. So if the market continues to sell off, guess who's going to sell off with it? Apple. It's one of the biggest contributors to the overall market. Same with the Qs. You're getting a double top action on the Qs as well, with the possibility of breaking the 8 MA and testing that 20 MA. So if that continues to happen, definitely look for shorting opportunities with Apple, because I think it's going to be one of the best stocks to short coming into that situation. So that's kind of my list for the day. I also, I had a lot of the names that you had as well. Baba, I really love Baba. The fact that it was able to hold yesterday's price. I know there was a bit of selling off that occurred throughout the morning open. However, if you look at the technicals, you look at the chart, price action is still holding above that 20 MA and the 8 MA. Now you have a gap up happening up to 246, which is, guess what, above yesterday's high. So now think of that as like a mini bull flag breakout, with the pre-market gap up. So I think there's a good chance we could test at least the 200 MA on the daily, which is around 250. Let's see, 250 exactly. So if we can test that and break above that, maybe we can even fill that gap, which I think the low is around 250, 250. So Baba is definitely going to be on my A list as well. Tesla, of course, anytime. As a price target upgrade or anything like that, you have to keep an eye on it. And then Tilray. Tilray is going to be like my A1 stock. I mean, look at it. Clearly, it's been one of the biggest runners today, or over the past week. So let's see if it can continue its momentum. But again, with Tilray, look to take your profits early. Don't hold on to this for too long, thinking it's just going to shoot up to $30. Could it happen? Sure. But let's get those quick, easy base hits right off the morning. and keep that momentum and look for another entry later on in the day. We could be a little greedier.
So Taj, on Tilray, we've seen this too many times, man. Where look at the daily. The upper Bollinger Band on Tilray is at 1798. The RSI on the daily with pre-market data is 8970. Man, I've seen it too many times, man. With these types of setups, I think if I see Tilray starting to sell off, man, I'm gonna get some puts on my hands and just hold on to it. I'm gonna swing it because this has gone parabolic. I mean, there's no fundamental news behind this rally. This is all speculation. Now, the crazy thing about shorting and kind of shorting a stock that has gone parabolic is it could keep going. It could keep running. You really don't know. You can't. It's very tough to call the top, but we use these indicators to help guide us in decision making. And right now, it's screaming overbought.
Yes.
So let's see, man. If Tilray, I would love this. I would love Tilray to rip to 23, 24, 25, because then I'm gonna get some puts on my hands and buy some like puts 1 month out and just swing that baby.
It's due. It'll be due, because now you're reaching even more overbought territory. That RSI would creep up to 93, 94.
Yeah.
And that's a clear overbought situation, and you're due for a pullback.
Yeah.
And David, you said it right. What goes up must come down. And the higher it goes up, the harder that pullback is going to be.
Yes, sir. Gravity works its magic, and that gravity will pull that sucker down real hard. Look at Fubu. If you don't believe me, look at Fubo, or Fubu, whatever we call it. One name I wanted to bring up, guys, that just came to my attention in pre-market, LMND. Citron Research came out and said he's going to host a live Twitter stream on why the FTC should investigate LMND. And he's calling this stock to trade down to $100. I am now putting LMND on my A list today because this stock can get hurt. On the daily chart, the 13 MA is at $144. Honestly, that's my price target. Let's hit 144.87. If it breaks below that, 134. That's the daily 20 MA. I will take profits at either levels, but I'm actually going to play LMND for a short today. I like that call on Citron. So with that being said, guys, everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. We're going to cut the stream here because the market's about to open, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a great long weekend.